felt. I mean, guys. I mean, I had a kickball game tonight. I had 2 kickball games for the playoffs, and your boy Instagram Mick is officially in the championship game. He'll play tomorrow. So yeah, my team's playing tomorrow. So very proud of what my team did tonight. Won both their games to get to the championship game. So that's why I was a little bit behind. And plus, I was celebrating at the local bar that my team sponsored right here. You can tell the logo. But yeah, 2 big wins in championship. So yeah, Instagram Mick is going to the championship game in kickball. So I'm very happy about that. Tomorrow's my birthday, Instagram Mick. But all right. So I'm back here. Sorry, it'll cut off. Yeah. So, yep, Instagram Mick in the championship game. So now, let's talk about the first topic before we get into football. Let's talk about the World Series. My New York Yankees are going to the World Series. They closed it out this past Saturday, winning Game 5 in the LCS against the Guardians. Even though, yeah, series ended in 5 games, but it was a tough series. It looked pretty tough. Especially was the toughest part, I think, of this, series at all time. So that was a really good win for the Yankees. I mean, they were down 2-0, and Stanton hits a big home run to tie it, the 2-run shot to tie it, and then we go to extra innings. 2 guys on. I think it was like 2 outs too. Yeah, Soto hits a big 3-run shot to get the Yankees the lead. The go-ahead home run that pretty much got the Yankees to win the ALCS. So they are American League champs. Dodgers closed out the series this past Sunday, winning Game 6, ending in 6 games, beating the Mets. So it is Yankees-Dodgers. World Series, pretty much a lot of fans want to see Judge versus Ohtani. So I'm going to give you my preview. I think it's kind of probably evenly matched. I mean, 2 of the best teams in baseball all year, we've noticed, obviously. I mean, start with the Dodgers. Start with Ohtani. He's having a historic season. MVP kind of season. So him, and then obviously got Mookie Betts, who's won a World Series with the Red Sox back like 6 years ago. Of course, you got Max Muncy, who's won a World Series with the Dodgers back in the COVID year. So, I mean, these guys got a lot of experience. I mean, like, Kike Hernandez is another former Red Sox. I mean, he's come along. Teoscar Hernandez, that was a big pickup from the Blue Jays. He's really good. Spears Network, yes, sir. Start spreading the news. Indeed. So, yeah, they got good pitching. Yamamoto, who's just a rookie phenom pitcher. I mean, he's good. I mean, replacing Clayton Kershaw, of course, Kershaw, retiring, I think, unless he's playing still, but yeah. Yamamoto's a young stud. He's already on the rise. There's no question there. There's some other great Dodgers, but yeah, let's start with those guys, the Hernandez brothers. Hernandez. They're not blood related brothers, but they call them that. So that's a good roster, really. 2 best rosters. And the Yankees, you got Aaron Judge, and of course, had another MVP season. Battle with Ohtani for it. You also got, who else you got? Juan Soto, obviously we talked about. Came up clutch. I mean, we got him in the offseason. Big signing, and Soto's pretty much playing for another contract for the Yankees. So trying to keep him in New York. Trying to fight for a big contract. And you got Stanton, who's been experienced with the Yankees. Never been in the World Series. Played most of his career with the Marlins, then came to the Yankees. He's been so clutch this postseason. So yeah, Stanton, of course, the American League MVP. I'll have to look in a little more, like what day is that and all that. November 7th. That's a Thursday night. So during football, maybe. But I'll have to look and see though if I want to do it. I appreciate it though. I mean, I'll definitely look. I'll definitely look, but I'll definitely look a lot more because still these a few weeks. So I got time. So yeah. I mean, obviously, of course, other than those 3, you got Volpe, who was a rookie last year. I mean, he's played some good. Verdugo was a good pickup from Boston. And the pitching, and of course, Garrett Cole is your ace to start out with. Luis Gil had a good rookie run this year. He's really been good this year. Also, Carlos Rodon's looked pretty good in the playoffs, too. Like, Rodon's been solid, too. I mean, that kid's been good. Like, Nestor, I mean, yeah, he's all right, Still nasty Nestor. The bullpen looks kind of good, too, for both sides. But the Yankees, though, it's tough to tell their bullpen. I mean, the guy scares me the most is Clay Holmes. They got some other guys that can really play good, so yeah. I think the series goes at least 6 or 7 games. It's going to be a longer series compared to what we've seen. So it's going to, because we've yet to have a game 7 this year in the series playoffs. So I feel like it makes sense to have the two best teams of baseball play in game 7. I got the Yankees in 7. I think. Not gonna be, I don't know. I think it's gonna be a long series. It could go either way. Let's be honest. Dodgers even could win it too. So they're both really deserving to be here. But I got my Yankees winning in 7 games. That's my World Series take. But I'll keep giving you more and more talks about the World Series throughout this, all this. But yeah, I'm pretty excited as a Yankees fan, waiting 15 years to get back there. But all right, let's get to business. Let's recap last week's college football games. Start first of all, another good slate, especially in the SEC side. We had, over the last weekend. It started this past Thursday night, but Virginia Tech Hokies got the W 6 days ago. So, yeah, I'm in a great mood about that, and the Hokies winning a big game, like 60. Yeah, it'll be almost a week tomorrow. So, yeah, that's a big win for them. 42-21 over Boston College. And By-Shield Tootin it was kind of a weird game. Virginia Tech got off to a hot start, I think being up 28-0, and then Boston College scored 21 answers, so they made it a game, and then Virginia Tech pulled away. But By-Shield Tootin had a historic. 4 total TDs. He had 266 yards rushing. So he broke the school record for most rushing yards in a single game as a running back. So that's a historic game out of him. He had some turnovers too, but got to fix them. Virginia Tech's got to fix them up going in their next game, which we'll get into a little bit. So yeah, the big win for the Virginia Tech Hokies over Boston College. Friday games. First time ever, Duke beat Florida State. They beat Florida State in football. So the Florida State undefeated streak against Duke came to an end. So Florida State's dropped to 1-6 this season. So I think Mike Norvell is pretty much he's screwed. I think that's the end of his. I think it's the end of the Mike Norvell era in Tallahassee. Who maybe not, because if Florida State somehow beats Miami this weekend, which we'll get into that, but I feel like they keep his job and they win. If they win the rest of the games, maybe they'll keep his job. But he's in the deep water now. He's definitely in hot water for sure for Florida State. So yeah. Not good. I mean, Duke finally won. I knew it was going to happen. I knew Duke was going to win. They're the better team. Florida State's been just rough. So, yeah. And Purdue made a dominant win. Made it look easy against Purdue. I mean, Oregon dominated Purdue. So, Oregon went into Purdue and shut them out. There was more Oregon fans at Purdue. That was a Friday night game. A couple of Friday night games. Those were good ones. Florida State was a good one. But, yeah, Oregon, I was not shocked they shut out Purdue. I mean, Purdue could have at least sneaked in a touchdown, but I was not shocked Oregon dominated that one. So, yeah. We thought it could be a letdown game, but they look pretty good, though, nonetheless. Let's move on to Saturday games. That Miami-Louisville game was probably the best out of the noon slate. It was like a shootout. It was like a high-scoring game. And when Louisville could have had a 100-yard kickoff, but Miami eked out the win, winning 52-45. A lot of points that game was. Pretty entertaining. I mean, I knew Louisville's going to explode, but I just knew it was going to be high-scoring. But, yeah, Miami finds a way to win another game. I mean, I know I keep saying they get lucky, but this time they were looking like their control times, So Cam Ward keeps his Heisman campaign rolling. Being when they're Clemson, 40-31 was the final, but the thing is, they looked pretty good most of the time, but it was game up a garbage time touchdown. They both had garbage time touchdowns there, but it was another high-scoring ACC game. The UVA hung in there for a while, but then Clemson pretty much pulled away. And Clemson still undefeated in ACC play. Big win for them. Indiana, the surprise team. Number 16, they were undefeated going into the big noon Saturday game against Nebraska at home, and they rolled. I thought they could have, Nebraska could have competed with that Nebraska defense. They got spanked by Indiana. Nebraska did. So Indiana looks for real. They might be the real deal. They might be the ones that could give Ohio State fits, maybe. Oregon already beat them, but still, it's like Indiana shockingly good, but still, it's a long season. Still got some games left. Still a long season. We're not in November yet, so that's a really impressive win by the Indiana Hoosiers. Let's go to the 3:30 slate of games. We had Tennessee and Alabama. It was not as high scoring compared to a couple of years ago, but it was a down to the wire game. Tennessee beats Alabama for the second time in the last 3 seasons. So Alabama, that hurts their playoff chances right there. That really does, but Alabama's pretty much got to win out and win the SEC or just hope for that large bid, something like that, because 12-team expansion. But that one hurts Alabama. Tennessee, wow, just number 11. Now Tennessee's back in the top 10 with that win. And, of course, Notre Dame, rolled against Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech was missing Haynes King, the injury, so that was that was a tough break for Georgia Tech losing their quarterback. You know, like he didn't play Saturday. So yeah, Notre Dame pretty much prevailed that one. In Mercedes-Benz Stadium, I was home with the Falcons. So it was a neutral site game technically, so that was a win for them. Illinois beats Michigan. Michigan only scored 7 points. It was a low scoring, but God, Michigan's now unranked. Illinois looks pretty good still. I figured Illinois was going to win that one. And of course, Instigator Mick won his college picks last week by 2 games. I won that one. So pretty much that Tennessee one really much sealed my chance to win the picks. That's what really did. That's what really put it away, put it in the bag. So I won that one. That's how I won it. Illinois also helped too. That was the 3:30 slate. Of course, some of the night games we had. LSU rolled against Arkansas. I'm not surprised there. That's a good LSU team. You know, Arkansas beat Tennessee, but still, that's very be tough. At the same time, LSU, they look pretty impressive on the road. Of course, the biggest game was Georgia and Texas. Georgia surprised everyone beating Texas. I thought for sure Texas was gonna win, but that has got to be frustrating to be a Texas fan now, losing that one over the Georgia Bulldogs. So that's a big win for Georgia. Pretty much Georgia was in desperate need of a win to keep themselves in the playoff picture. And then obviously, last but not least, Michigan State and Iowa. Michigan State prevailed, ended the losing streak. You know, Michigan State won, Iowa lost. Yeah, that wrapped up week 8. Let's talk about week 9 picks this week. Let's start with another Thursday night game tomorrow. A Thursday night game, another big ACC game. We got 6-0 Pitt, who is ranked, against 5-1 Syracuse, who should be ranked. So the Syracuse Orange should be ranked. So that's a really big game for both these teams. A monster one to determine who's going to keep themselves alive in the ACC title picture. So, this one's a very tough pick. I mean, this is in Pittsburgh. It's this 7:30 game on ESPN. ESPN Thursday night game. I'm going to go with the upset. I got the Orange. I got Syracuse beating Pitt. I mean, I keep picking against Pitt and I'm wrong, but I don't know. This Syracuse offense looks good. Pitt offense looks good, don't get me wrong, but just I think Syracuse has a better quarterback. McCord looked pretty good. I mean, about better than he did last year. Ohio State. I think Syracuse has been playing so much better. He's playing with confidence right now. So I like the Syracuse offense better than Pitt's offense. So give me the Orange in an upset and end Pitt's undefeated streak. So that's Thursday. Let's move on to the Saturday slate. Start at noon on the ACC network. It is Georgia Tech at Virginia Tech. As my Hokies are playing. This is homecoming weekend for Virginia Tech as well. So it's a big one for not only that, because homecoming, but also it is, you know, game to determine who could stay in the mix of the ACC championship picture. You know, you have to finish top 2 in the state, first place and second place to get to the ACC championship game. So it's a big one for Virginia Tech. 2-1 in conference play. Of course, Georgia Tech 3-2 in conference play. So this is a game Virginia Tech's got to win. Same as Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is more desperate need. And it's a sold-out crowd for homecoming weekend, so I got to go Hokies. Not only because of my team, but it's, I don't know. I just think they got something to prove. You know, they really got something to prove in this one because Georgia Tech's very good. They got a good quarterback play, too. So it depends if Haynes King plays or not for Georgia Tech. We'll see how his status holds, but I got the Hokies. Next, this is a game where College Game Day is coming to. This is coming the first time ever. Bloomington, Indiana. So University of Indiana it's coming to for the first time ever. So this is a big deal because Indiana's undefeated still. They play against, you know, Washington's 4-3, but Washington was in the national title game last year. So this is a big deal. That's pretty huge for them. Special for one of the College Game Day analysts, Lee Corso. They call him Coach Corso, you know, Lee Corso. He coached at Indiana. So this is special to him returning home as a College Game Day analyst now. Back where he coached. Gonna have his career, you know. That's very special, but I got to go Hoosiers. You know, Washington went up and down. They did beat Michigan this year. Michigan's struggling now, too. So, Hoosiers, that offense looks dominant. They look scary. Their quarterback looks pretty good, too. So, I got the Hoosiers. Big. That's not even close. Next, Navy at Notre Dame. This is played at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford. So, let's play the Giants and the Jets Stadium. Navy is undefeated. This is why I put this game there, because Navy's undefeated still. And in the rankings, number 24, and they got number 12 Notre Dame. Navy they're gonna give Navy some respect after this game. So I mean, I don't know why I got upset in this one. I gotta go with Navy over Notre Dame. I don't know why I picked this one, but just Navy's undefeated. They've been high scoring team this year. They've been looking probably the best they looked in a very, very long time. So I gotta go with the midshipmen. No Navy. Yeah, it's noon on ABC. That game will be. Of course, that Indiana game is noon on the Big Ten Network. So here we go. Ohio State Now, big noon Saturday on Fox. The Ohio State Buckeyes, first game since coming off that heartbreaking loss to Oregon. How do they respond? I mean, of course, Nebraska come off a loss, that bad loss to Indiana. Like, this is a big noon Saturday game on Fox. It's in Columbus. This is Ohio State has the home field advantage in this one. I got a couple buddies of mine that are going to this game, so I'll give them a shout out. They're going to this game. Just one of them in that group is a Buckeye fan, so yeah, that sounds like fun to them. So I gotta go Buckeyes. I think they have some more to play for. I mean, Nebraska is trying to get that last win trying to get that 6th win to get bowl eligible, but I gotta go Buckeyes still. They are still in the conversation for the college football playoffs. I really gotta go with them in this one. They're really. Thing is, same time Nebraska got blown up. I gotta go with Ohio State. They need to prove something after that loss to Oregon. So give me the Buckeyes. Now the 3:30 slate. This is on CBS. CBS game of the week. This is number 20 Illinois at the new number 1 ranked Oregon. So Oregon ranked for the number 1 for the first time since 2012. I think it was 20. Yeah. So it's been a long time since Oregon's been ranked number 1. But yeah, big deal for them since Texas lost last week. But Oregon's got to take this game seriously. This is a really good Illinois team. That defense is tough. They gave Penn State fits for a while. And they also, they beat Michigan pretty good last week. So they beat Nebraska too. So this is a tough one here for them. But I gotta go Oregon still. They're the elite team. They're the better team on the roster wise. So I got the Ducks because this is at home. If this was in Illinois, it'd been a lot tougher to pick. But I would still take Oregon. But this is at home. Oregon's gotta win this one at home. Next is a 3:30 game on. This is the SEC on ABC. This is Missouri at Alabama in Tuscaloosa. So how does Alabama respond? They already had 2. How did they respond? They already beat Georgia, though, but lost to Vanderbilt. So the thing is, they already lost 2, both teams in the state of Tennessee, Vanderbilt and Tennessee. So, yeah, how did the Alabama respond? After another heartbreaker, in the state of Tennessee. Because both losses were in the state of Tennessee this year. They started out hot, and then they started going down. In this one, Alabama, this is a bounce-back week for them, for sure. After a heartbreaker against Tennessee last week, so I gotta go roll. I gotta go roll Tide in this one because Missouri. They're good, but just they are not compared to like the Alabama talent, though. I could be wrong. This one's a tough one. It's a tricky game to pick. This is number 5 Texas at number 25 Vanderbilt. So Vanderbilt is ranked for the first time in a long time too. So of course Vanderbilt, yes, I talked about them a little bit. They beat Alabama, obviously. They also beat my Virginia Tech Hokies this year. So this is a good Vanderbilt team. I thought it was a bad loss, but now I think about it, that's a good Vanderbilt team. I wanted to pick them because I got to pick with my head. I'm going to take Texas still. They're going to be fired up. They are fired up after losing a big game against Georgia last week at home. So Texas wants to go on the road and just make a statement, show that they're still a contender. So I got to go Texas in this one. Now the prime time games, the night games. Of course, the Texas game will be on the SEC network at 4:15. Let's move on to the primetime games now. Miami hosting Florida State. Of course, Florida State really, Mike Norvell's job's really on the line. I know they might not make a bowl game, but I feel like they would still want him to be here if they beat Miami, because he's beaten Miami a few times, like a lot of times in his career. They dominated Miami for a while, last few years. But I got to go with Hurricanes. Usually, I hate picking Miami because after what happened to Hail Mary. But, yeah, I'm going Miami Hurricanes. It's not going to be close. Florida State's just a train wreck this year. So, give me the Canes in this one. Next is a 7:30 game on NBC. The NBC Big Ten game this week is Penn State at Wisconsin. So, yeah, Penn State rose in the rankings. They are in a tough road environment like Wisconsin. Camp Randall. Madison's always a tough place to play. Especially when they play Jump Around that song, So, oh, man. That will be a tough one for sure. Penn State number 3, so I got to go Penn State. They can't look ahead to the Ohio State game. They cannot look ahead. So they got to focus on Wisconsin right now, what's in hand, and they'll take care of business. So I got Penn State. In a close one, though. Wisconsin's going to keep it close. I don't know why I think that. I just have a feeling because playing at night out there, might be a close game. Give me the Nittany Lions. Next is the Saturday night football game on ABC. It is LSU number 8 at number 14 Texas A&M. It's a really good matchup in the SEC. At the 12th man at night, should be a really fun matchup. But I like the LSU Tigers, their experience level. They've been winning some big games lately, beating Ole Miss. And obviously last week beating North, so they're getting the experience level more. They're starting to really get it going finally. So I got LSU Tigers. But the last pick of this week's college football picks, week 9, it is the in-state rivalry, the Paul Bunyan Trophy, Michigan State and Michigan. This is at Ann Arbor. It's a 7:30 game on the Big Ten Network. I know I put that one, but I just love the rivalry game. I really love that rivalry game. I really do. So I'm gonna take Michigan State. I don't know why. I think Michigan State's due to beat. Michigan, because Michigan is not the same Michigan team we've seen the last few years. The last time Michigan State beat Michigan was when they had Kenneth Walker there, who was the current Seattle Seahawks. So yeah, that was the last time they beat Michigan. So I got Sparty beating Michigan this year. I think it's their year. Now let's move on to the NFL picks. Let's talk about last week. How I did. I finished +6. Instagram Mick had another good week in the NFL pool. Started out a little bit rough with the Thursday night pick last week. I had the Saints, but they got just destroyed by the Broncos. Really destroyed. They're beat up with injury. I thought Saints were due for win, but I got looking more in the injury point. But yeah, I have been, but just I don't know. I just thought the Saints because of the home field personal game like that. But yeah, Denver looked pretty good. But the London game, at first we thought New England was going to pull it off, but Jacksonville ran away with it, won by 16 points. And Instigator Mick, that was Instigator Mick's pick of the week last week, so I won that. Very happy about that one. So yeah, I won that pick of the week. So yeah, that was all the London games this year. Of course, still got a Germany game in a few weeks to finish off the international games this year. So Jaguars pretty much won. Seattle, I thought there would be a closer game, but boy, did Seattle look pretty good. I won that pick. I had a feeling Seattle was gonna win, but I did not expect it to be that bad against Atlanta. They rolled by 20. But they're worried about, of course, DK Metcalf. The bad part is DK Metcalf got injured in that game. His status is week to week going into the Bills game this weekend. So that is, of course, the Buffalo Bills rolled. I mean, at first they start out a little slow at the beginning. It was like when they're down to nothing, I was like, oh boy. I was like, are we really gonna lose these guys? But then all of a sudden, I think we lit a spark. I mean, James Cook got a touchdown. I think that's what started, and then I also had a touchdown from Amari Cooper too, which really got it going. We scored 34 unanswered. The Bills won 34-10. I mean, it was a very big spread, but I still had a feeling they were gonna there's no way they're gonna have a close game of the Titans in the second half. I was like, yeah, I had a feeling I was winning that pick, so I won that one. Cincinnati wins by a touchdown against the Cleveland Browns. Brad news for the Browns. I know people are saying it's good, but still, it sucks. You hate to see it. But Deshaun Watson had a torn Achilles injury, so he's out for the year. Wish them a speedy recovery. Sucks for him now. Jameis Winston is named the starting quarterback for the Browns for this week. But Cincinnati had another back-to-back wins for Cincinnati for the first time this year. But still, that's tough for the Browns, seeing that happen. And the Packers-Texans game, that was an instant classic. I still won the pick because the Packers did not cover the spread. They only won by 2 points. The spread was 2.5. They needed to win by a field goal. But they kicked a field goal. They only won by 2. But it was an instant classic. Kind of, it was turnovers, but still, it was another, came down to the very end kind of game. So Packers beat Houston. So yeah, I know Timmy's gonna say something like, "Oh, we actually did something your Bills couldn't do. Let's beat the Titans." I know that, Timmy, but still, we got the same record there, pal. So I wouldn't gloat about it too much. That's a good team to beat, but still, long season ahead for both of our teams. So I'll let my dad know that. Still a long season ahead. But good win for the Packers overall. Stephon Diggs was acting like a child, running his mouth to the Packers side. Packers got some guys that chirp a lot too, but still ran over there, starting trouble with Jair Alexander and other guys. LaFleur was in on the action to not fighting, but he was trying to stop it. So that was immature by Diggs. I'm glad the Bills got rid of him, so I have no regret saying that. I'm glad the Bills got rid of his ass. I know he beat us, but the thing is, really, is he still good enough? He just runs his mouth too much. He didn't back it up Sunday. As Jair Alexander played lockdown D on him. But the Dolphins lost to the Colts. But the only good news to the Dolphins is Tua is back. But thing is, they got to start winning a lot of games if they want to keep themselves in the playoff picture, in the AFC East picture, because the Bills are rolling right now. So they lose to the Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson gets a win over the Dolphins. But this is another instant class. That Lions-Vikings game, ooh. Vikings are no longer undefeated. We have one undefeated team remaining as the Chiefs because the Chiefs beat the 49ers. I lost that pick, but yeah. So Chiefs are the Super Bowl champs are the only team left that are undefeated still. Yeah, since the Lions beat the Vikings. So Vikings are no longer undefeated. Their streak is over. Eagles rolled over the Giants. Saquon Barkley, a revenge game for him against his former team. Return to MetLife, so he got the win there. Not much to talk about there. Rams beat the Raiders, but they didn't cover for me. But they beat the Raiders. And they might get Cooper Kupp back. And the Commanders pretty much rolled, which I'm not surprised. Of course, what surprised me is Jay Neal's got hurt in the opening drive. And then Marcus Mariota, of course, led this dominant win. So I did not expect it to be this dominant. I mean, I knew it would be dominant, but I did not expect it to be that dominant with Marcus Mariota. And the Steelers, boy, do they look pretty good right now. Ooh. And the Jets are in trouble. I tell you, the Jets are in big trouble. I could be wrong, but the New York media has to be all over them at that loss. How bad they looked. Rodgers had 2 turnovers, 2 picks. Both to Beanie Bishop and the Steelers, Picked off Rodgers twice. So that's going to be frustrating for the Jets right now. Getting destroyed on prime time. And, of course, Baltimore looked pretty good, dominant, win on Monday Night Football and won Monday Night Doubleheaders. They won. And Tampa, not only lost, but they lost a key receiver. They got Godwin now on injury reserve, so that sucks. That really sucks. He goes down, and Mike Evans goes down on injury. We don't know how bad Mike Evans is, but we know Godwin's out for a while now because he's on injury reserve. So that sucks for the Buccaneers. Not only they lost, but they lose their top. They get their top 2 receivers get hurt. That really sucks. Hoping the best. Hope it'll be better. And then, of course, I lost the Chargers pick. Reason why? Because they didn't cover. Not only that, they lost too. So the Cardinals got barely. I thought was a game-winning field goal, but it was a low scoring, but it came down the wire kind of game. It was good though, still. But yeah, Cardinals got the win over the Chargers. But now let's talk about Week 8 of the NFL season. Here we go. Let's start with tomorrow night, Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. It is the Minnesota Vikings. Just got this up with their first loss to the Lions as they play against the LA Rams. Vikings are the favorites, but that could all change with Cooper Kupp plays tomorrow because they're expecting Cooper Kupp to play tomorrow. So that could change a lot. So I was thinking of taking the Vikings because they first up their first loss, but I don't know. I have a feeling the Rams are going to win this week because not only they got Cooper Kupp back, but the help staff can work. He's still got Tutu Atwell to throw to, but he also got his top running back in Kyrie Williams. So I don't know why. I like this Rams team this week. A ball shocker in this one. Look at me, LA in this one, the LA Rams. That's another 1 o'clock games because there's no 9:30. There's no London games this week. So, hey, there's not just 1 o'clock games. So the Tennessee Titans at the Detroit Lions. The spread is 10.5 favored by Detroit. That is the biggest spread of the week in this pool. Do I take it? The answer is yes. After I saw what the Bills did, and the way this Lions team's been playing, they've had a close game with the Vikings, but the way they dominated the Dallas, there's no way. I mean, I gotta go with Detroit. They're gonna cover, no doubt. Especially against this Titans team. So yeah, give me the Lions. That one. Next, the Baltimore Ravens at the Cleveland Browns. Baltimore is favored by 8.5 on the road. Kind of a big spread on the road. That's really big, but I get it because the Browns are very bad this year. And of course, James Winston makes his first start for the Browns instead of Deshaun Watson injuries. But I got to go Baltimore. This team is just red hot. I mean, they've been just so dominant lately. I mean, look, especially what they did to the Buccaneers Monday night. So, yeah, I got to go Baltimore big. And they're going to cover the spread. Next, the Green Bay Packers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. This one's kind of an interesting matchup here. Jaguars have given the Packers close games in the past, But the spread's 4.5. I think the Packers cover. The Jaguars are just getting back from London. The Packers got a big win, so this game's in Jacksonville, but I like the Packers for some reason. Jacksonville's been in London the last 2 weeks, so I gotta go with them. Next, the Indianapolis Colts at the Houston Texans. I mean, because this is kind of a big deal for the AFC South now, because the Colts are in the picture, only like a game behind or something like that. Last Colts cut the close to Texans last time. The spread's 5.5. This is in Houston. I think Houston won't cover. I don't know. Colts are kind of upset this week. I don't know why. I just have a feeling the Colts are going to surprise everyone and beat the Texans. Texans are a good team, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I just have a gut feeling these division games are always tough. I think of that. So give me the Colts and the points because Texans aren't covering that. Arizona Cardinals at the Miami Dolphins. Of course, Kyler Murray. It's been 32 straight. I mean, he hasn't won a back-to-back game in 32 games or something like that. Something like that. Yeah, he hasn't won a back-to-back games in a while. Miami gets Tua Tagovailoa back this week on the IR. Most likely he's going to be playing, so that'll be a good matchup if Tua comes in. We'll see how he is, but the spread's 2.5. I got to go with Miami in this one. I see it because at home, but much I want to go with Arizona because they got momentum after a win over the Chargers, but I like Miami in this one for some reason. Much I hate picking the Miami Dolphins, but I got to do what I got to do on this pool. It's going to be Miami. Next, a rematch from a Thursday night classic just like a few weeks ago, I think it was. Yeah. Like earlier this month. It was the Atlanta Falcons at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This time it's in Tampa, but the spread's 2.5 favor of the Falcons now is because the injury report, with the receivers for the Bucs. I want to pick Tampa Bay. They got they lost the Falcons last time. I think the Falcons are going to sweep them because the injuries, Bucs want to win this match. Bucs could prove me wrong this weekend. But I go with Falcons because the Bucs are beat up in the receiving position right now. So I got Atlanta sweeping the series this year. The New York Jets at the New England Patriots. The Jets already beat the Patriots earlier this year. The Jets are favored by 6.5. The Jets should not lose this game, so I'm going to take the Jets. And plus, the must win is keep themselves in the AFC East picture, but also in the playoff picture as well. So I got to go with the Jets in this one. Philadelphia Eagles at the Cincinnati Bengals. The 1 o'clock game in Cincinnati. Cincinnati's feeling good right now. They're getting something going. Eagles dominated last week because they played the Giants, but the Eagles have been fraudulent. These two teams kind of look fraudulent sometimes, but spread's favored by 2.5 by the Eagles, surprisingly, but I'm gonna take the Bengals this week. I don't know why. I like Cincy in this one. They're starting to get some. I think they're starting to get something going. I think something's cooking in Cincinnati. They're starting to get something rolling now. So I gotta go with Joe Cool Burrow in this one over Philadelphia. Here we go. This game I've been waiting for a while. I saw the schedule. The Buffalo Bills at the Seattle Seahawks. Why an interconference match like this? I got a buddy named Ryan Wiesman that is a Seattle Seahawks fan, Friendly rivalry, don't get me wrong. I also got, another friend of mine who is friends with my dad as well, Tony Williams, another Seattle Seahawks fan as well. So those two are Seahawks fans. It's really a great matchup because, a lot of the trash talk and all that's pretty fun, But I got one thing already putting at it. I got to say, Bills as my pick of the week I'm going with. I'm going to say, fuck the Seahawks. Fuck Wiesman. Go Bills. So here we go. No, go Bills. That's my pick of the week. Last time I picked against the Seahawks, my pick of the week, I've had success with them, like late in the season last year. So I got to stick to my game, Keep doing well. But the thing is, Instagram kind of being biased, picking with his heart, though, picking the Bills, picking his own team. But we'll see how this game plays. It's going to be a fun matchup, though. I think, the quarterback matchup's going to be good. Geno's pretty good still. Geno Smith he can run still. He's run like Josh Allen. He's old, but Geno Smith can really run it. So he's good. Depends how DK Metcalf does, if he's going to play, how that status will be if DK plays. Because that could open up for Jack Smith and Jigba, like JSN, like the second-year receiver out of Ohio State. So he's been good. So I could open up there. Kenneth Walker's been good. So yeah. And of course, Josh Allen. Offense looks good. Amari Cooper, I can't wait to see what he does in game 2. After he looked good last week. But here you go. Go with the Bills, my pick of the week. Let's move on now. 4:05 game on Fox as well. It's the Bills a 4 o'clock game. So the New Orleans Saints at the LA Chargers, spread 7.5. For some reason, the Chargers had these weird struggles. They lost the Cardinals. I feel like the spread 7.5 favored by the Chargers. It's not gonna be a blowout. I don't know why. If the Chargers do this crap, the team that should blow out, but they lose. I don't know what or something barely win. So I think the Chargers aren't covering. Much as I hate, I know I shouldn't pick the Saints spread, but I don't know. I just see it being close. Chargers do this stuff. They're weird like that sometimes. Like they thought they were gonna blow a team up, but they just struggle. That's why I like the Saints spread this week. This one's a really good matchup. The Bears at the Washington Commanders. These two rookie quarterbacks. Who of course Caleb Williams, the number 1 pick in this year's draft. Jaden Daniels, the number 2 pick. We'll see if he's able to play. If not, it'll be Mariota will be the starter. But hopefully Jaden Daniels plays, I want to see this quarterback matchup. The spread is 2.5. I'm taking Washington, but I might change it, but I'm sticking with Washington because at home. Because if in Chicago, I'd take the Bears. Caleb Williams has been looking pretty good, though, as of late. Last time he played, I think it was it was the London game against the Jaguars a couple weeks ago. So he came out the bye week. So yeah, I'm excited to see what Caleb Williams and if Jaden Daniels does play. I hope to see what these quarterbacks do. So I like that matchup. I'm going with Washington. Not much talk about the Chiefs-Raiders game. The Raiders are dog shit, but they just brought in Desmond Ridder, which doesn't help really. Ridder's kind of a backup. I get it, but it's just the Raiders are such a mess this year. I feel bad for Max Crosby. He's such a good pass rusher, but stuck with the Raiders. But he's so loyal. But I'll give him that. But I feel bad for the guy. Suffering for a team like that. But I go with the spread's 9.5 favored by the Chiefs, so I gotta go with the Chiefs easily. I could be wrong. Could be a close game. The last time the Raiders played the Chiefs was Christmas and the Raiders won. So, but I'm gonna go with Kansas City in this one. Maybe not. You never know. And of course, this one's kind of a who cares kind of game because the Panthers are terrible. The Panthers are playing at the Denver Broncos. The spread's 8.5. Gotta go with Denver. They've been hot lately. Bo Nix has been really playing good. Might be one of the better rookies out of that draft class too. You know, he's been really improved since the beginning of the year. He's had his struggles. So I like Denver by a lot. Of course, Sunday Night Football this week. Both teams are desperate for a win. Dallas Cowboys at the San Francisco 49ers. So they're both desperate for wins right now. Especially Dallas. Last time Dallas played, they're coming off the bye week. Of course, that terrible loss to Detroit. I mean, Detroit's a really good team. Like, they're really elite. It's just, like, embarrassing because it's like, what's Dallas got to do? And, of course, the 49ers were beat up with so many injuries. And, of course, you got Deebo Samuel having pneumonia. You know, just like the 49ers can't catch a break with injuries and all that. But McCaffrey, they're saying he could be back in November, earliest for the Buccaneers game, like in November. So that's a good sign for the 49ers. Maybe we'll see how he does there. But spread's 4.5 favored by the 49ers, but I got to go with Dallas. I don't know why. Dallas is the more desperate team in this one. They got something to prove after that loss to the Lions, so I got to go with Dallas. The spread's going to be a lot closer than that. I don't know why. Because these two teams are so beat up right now, especially the 49ers. And, of course, Monday Night Football this week. The New York Giants and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So back-to-back weeks where the Steelers have a primetime game at home against the New York team because they played the New York Jets last week. This week it's Monday Night Football against the Giants. Spread's 6.5. It's not gonna be close. I got the Steelers. They looked pretty good last week, and they're playing the Giants. The Giants are terrible. So give me the Steelers by a lot. That Giants team looks awful. I could be wrong, but still, like that in that game maybe. But still, they look bad. They got no future this year. So I got the Steelers by a lot, and they got something to prove. But all right. Hope everyone enjoyed Instagram Mick, the late night edition. Next week, it'll be, I think, at least 9 or 9:30. I'll be at a Bonnie's exhibition game, St. Bonaventure basketball game next week. It'll be an exhibition, but kind of want to see what the new guys are for the Bonnies. But yeah, I'll be around next week for sure. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for staying up late. Very appreciate it. Like, subscribe for Instagram Mick. We'll see you all next Wednesday. Enjoy your weekend.